Okay, so this was just a quick. This is silly, but if you were made of rocks, then you probably wouldn't really like. If I was made of rocks, I think, let's say I was exactly the same, but I was made of rocks. I think I would probably either go live in the forest or do a manual labor job. I guess I should have premised this with something better, but like basically what I'm saying is I think our physical makeup affects who we are a lot more than we think, and like who we are has a lot to do with what we are physically, and of course it has to do with like well, what we are physically never has to do with who we are as a person, necessarily. But who we are as a person will always be affected by what we are physically. So if I was a woman, of course, I would have different physical features, and that would affect my outlook on the world in a lot of ways. And there's also, in going a step further, maybe if I was myself in every single way but made of stone, then there are certain limitations on that based on the rest of the world, the rest of the human world. And so I would either probably be in a physical labor job, or I would go live in the forest with the other rocks. So there's I've been thinking about, like, I've been looking at people and how, like, who they are physiologically, and then observing their mannerisms. And of course their mannerisms don't always match. Like I've seen some people who they seem like they should be very calm and they're very hyper, and vice versa. But I also have seen a lot of situations where someone will have a mannerism and it very strongly matches what they kind of look like, if that makes sense. And it's like, if they didn't have that physical feature, I don't think they would have that mannerism, and they might be a slightly different person. For example, someone who, like, quote unquote, kind of looks funny, might have a really good sense of humor because they've learned to, like, oh, they've gone that direction, and good for them. That's great. That's the best outcome you can hope for. Or they're just chill, of course. Like, that's cool. But worst case is they're bitter, and that's a bummer. But then you get this other, on the other hand, like someone who's maybe classically good looking and they know it, might be less funny because they don't put any effort into their humor, because they believe that their effort is, or they don't really have to, because a lot of people just are like, hey, you look good, so I'll give you something for that. And it's like, oh, okay. Or maybe someone who's like naturally feels very sad, and so they do humor, but they do a lot of sad humor or something like that. Just something where it's like, oh yeah, I can see that this is you, but also that you are your body. And I just thought it was interesting. Yeah, that's all. Let me know what you think. I would love to hear ideas. Cool. Bye.